I'm just saying this now. The less you know about this movie, the better it will be. Hey guys, welcome to Happy Wax TV. So about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, I did a trailer review for this movie just because it caught my eye. It really did, going by the trailer, remind me of the Cube movies. And if you're unfamiliar with those films, seriously, just maybe stop watching this right now and go find the Cube movies and watch those, because those are some of the best like sci-fi, what the fuck is happening style movies you'll probably ever see. And as soon as I saw the trailer for this movie, it caught my eye and it reminded me of that. Basically, a very quick synopsis. This movie takes place, or so they're saying it takes place, in the not so near future. And it's set up through a voiceover kind of outlining what's going on in the UK as they're living under martial law. And there's like a rebellion force kind of getting set up to kind of, make a run at getting back their freedom and stuff like that. And once that opening segment is over, then we immediately flash to the main character, who is played by, let me switch over here, who is played by Shauna McCulloch, or McDonald, apologize. Now, you'll probably best know her, or at least I recognized her right away, from the movies The Descent, which is a fantastic creature feature. If you haven't seen the Descent movies, do yourself a favor, again, after you're done watching the Cube movies, and get the Descent movies into your eyeballs, because, I mean, that is, the Descent 1 and 2 are probably in my top 5 for best creature features of all time, man. It was fucking crazy, those movies. But anyways, she wakes up in this white chamber, same as the title of the movie, and she has no fucking clue what's going on. And she starts to panic a little bit, and there's like I don't know how you describe the voice, but it's like a distorted type voice, and it starts asking her questions and all this sort of stuff. And, confusion sets in, and she tells the voice that she's just like a delivery girl sort of thing, and she has no information. And obviously this voice is trying to get info out of her, knowing, or at least, thinking that they suspect that she's more than what she actually is, and stuff like that. Now, a cast for this movie is obviously Shauna McDonald, and then Oded Feuer is in this as well. You'll recognize him from the Resident Evil movies, as well as the Mummy franchise. And then Amarit Achara, I hope I say her name correct. I recognized her from Game of Thrones, and she's also Ukrainian. So right there, she's getting marks with me because I'm Ukrainian as well. And then there's a very small cast. Sharon McGann, Nicholas Farrell, and then Candice Nagard. And that's pretty much it in this movie. It's a very small cast. And it's a lower budgeted movie, and it's directed by Paul Rashid, and I'm not overly familiar with him, but I like this movie, and I like how he pieced it together. Now, this is, I guess, in mainstream style movies, this is a smaller budgeted movie, but he works well with what he has. There's not a ton of CGI effects in this. A lot of the effects are practical, which is bonus, and he just sets the atmosphere really well. Now, again, I don't want to tell you anything about this movie other than what I already did. It's just the main character wakes up, not really knowing what's going on, and then there's this voice in this white chamber that's trying to press her for information, and then it when she plays dumb or doesn't say what she's supposed to say, then there's different torture devices in this white chamber, which you can all get from the trailer. They can heat it up, they can cool it down. There's a scene in the trailer where they drop acid on her, like a whole bunch of stuff. And then, again, this is from the trailer. There's another woman in the other side of this chamber that's all distorted and, kind of all messed up. But I don't want to tell you any more than that, because God, honestly, the less you know about this movie, and they do a great job of really hiding what's going on in this movie, because like, okay, this might be a quick spoiler, so plug your ears. But I mean, the movie does like a complete turnabout, and I mean, it doesn't all take place in this white chamber. Okay, so that aside, that's the only spoiler I'm going to give you. But it's great because I mean, like if it did, if this whole movie solely was in this white chamber, then I mean, it's only an 89-minute movie, so it's not super long. But it would just drag if I was thinking to myself, there's no fucking way they're going to pull this off and keep this thing inside that box and that's it. I mean, they did it with Buried Alive, I think the movie was called, with Ryan Reynolds. But I mean, very rarely can you put someone in that space for the entire movie and only show that space and have it work. So again, the only spoiler I'm going to give is that this movie doesn't consist of her being entirely in this white box. And I've probably said too much already, but I mean, again, you can piece a little bit from the trailer as to what's going on. But anyways, that aside, I did like this movie. It's not super action packed, so don't think you're going to go into this thing and it's going to be like a balls to the wall action flick, because it's not. It's very slow. It has lots of dialogue in it. And I mean, unlike the Cube movies and the Cube movies worked in the sense that they never really left the cube, right? But they were moving around. They were going from room to room, and you know what I mean? And the traps in there. And that's kind of what this movie does a little bit for the first act. And then, you know, we something else happens and I don't want to tell you. So, but this movie does work, but it's a slower paced movie. There's not a lot of gore in it, but the gore that is in it is really well done. And the acting is spot on. I mean, you've got some fucking great actors here who really helped this movie out. So I don't know. I was reading, like, I looked at a few reviews. Like, I don't know if, you know, Rotten Tomatoes, if we're actually going to consider them being legit anymore with the horse shit that they pulled with Captain Marvel. But I mean, it's only got like a 4, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, because it just got released. This movie just got released video on demand yesterday. So as soon as it came out, I was like, I have to watch this fucking movie. So there's no audience score, but there's like critic score, and they only gave it like a 4, 4.5. And I'm like, I don't know what these bozos are watching, because I mean, this movie is way better than a 4. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I was to rate this movie, I'd probably give it like a 6.5 or a 7. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't have a huge budget to work with this movie, but he used what he had, and I thought he did it pretty good. You know what I mean? So, but it's just, again, it's one of those movies where you can't give any spoilers away, and do yourself a favor too. If you're on here, YouTube or elsewhere, trying to find spoilers for this movie, just do yourself a favor and don't do that. Just take my advice. If this movie was shit, I would tell you it was shit, okay? And don't watch it. But I'm saying, watch this movie. Just don't expect like explosions and, you know, Matrix-y style fucking special effects, because it's not in this movie, okay? But if you want a pretty cool story, really well acted story, I mean, you're gonna love this flick. It's not gonna be one that you're probably gonna watch multiple times, but I guarantee you're gonna like it when you watch it, you know, for a one view sitting. And it is definitely worth a watch. And I would give it like a strong 6.5 or a 7. You know what I mean? So again, I sound like a broken record. Just know as little as you can when you go into this flick, and you'll enjoy it a ton more. Because if you know what's going on before you even see it, then you might as well not even fucking watch it, because you've pretty much ruined it, because the entire premise of this movie is not knowing what the fuck's going to go on next, which is why it works. So anyways, if you have seen it, I want to know what you think about it, because you know what I mean? Like, you go on the reviews and the critics are saying it's not that good. I'm going to say differently. I think this movie is pretty good. So let me know what you think if you have seen it. It's called White Chamber. It's out now on video on demand. I'm pretty sure all platforms like Google Play and iTunes and Amazon and shit. So it's pretty easy to find. So anyways, check it out. If you have seen it, let me know. If you haven't, watch it and then come back here and let me know what you think, because I wouldn't mind discussing it with you guys to see what you thought of it. So anyways, White Chamber, let me know what you think. And until next time, guys, stay scared.